Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'm saying it too fast. Sorry. Uh, Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have Ms. Marvel. It just premiered not even an hour ago. I just finished it, started it almost exactly at midnight. And yeah, it's the first episode in a six-episode season. This first one, honestly, I think it was 49 minutes long. That includes all the foreign credits, so it's a little bit less than that if you don't watch those. Um, this is the introduction of a brand new character to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We have not seen her before, as far as we know. Maybe she snuck in somewhere earlier, and we don't know. I don't know, but I think somebody would have said something by now. But this stars Ms. Marvel, who is Kamala Khan. She's a Jersey City resident. She lives across the river, across the Hudson from Manhattan, where all it seems all the superhero stuff happens. Nothing super heroic happens too often in Jersey City. Now, Kamala Khan is very much Marvel's first female Muslim Pakistani character. That is hero, I should say hero. That's she debuted in 2013 in the comics, and this is a very faithful adaptation of her character. And of course, the comic itself bore her name. But to be clear, by the way, there was a Ms. Marvel in the comics before Kamala took on that title. Of course, it was Carol Danvers, who is the current Captain Marvel in the MCU. But the Captain and Ms. Marvel thing is a very convoluted history and story. But let's just say all the Marvel girls, women, I shouldn't say Marvel girl because that is a different character. All the Marvels will be coming together in a film in the near future. Not, I mean, including Ms. Marvel, Captain Marvel, and it's the sequel film to the first Captain Marvel film, and she goes by Photon or Spectrum, or she was actually Captain Marvel before either one of them, technically, before Carol or Kamala. But we saw her in WandaVision originally. So, yeah, all the Marvels are coming together. But in this series, this very first episode out of six is very much about giving us an origin story for the character. Of course, it starts very low key. It's very colorful. It's very creative. It's very we're very much inside Kamala's head in how she sees the world and how the world sees her, or how she believes the world sees her, by a constantly evolving environment around her. She walks down the street or rides her bike or has a conversation with her best friend Bruno, and the world is animated in many ways to her. There's an overlay of animation throughout through a lot of the scenes anyway, at least when the moments when she's inspired to be her true self, inspired to be creative and fun and everything else. Now you'll find moments also when she is not feeling like she could do that, or like around her parents. You do not see those flourishes of color or text or anything else in artistic flourishes everywhere. She's a Pakistani girl, raised Muslim, and she is. They're very conservative, her parents, and she is very. By the way, I'm not going to give away plot spoilers. I'll give you a few little things here and there, but I'm not going to ruin the episode. You should absolutely, if you're a Marvel fan, you should watch this. So it's a given. I don't know why I would have to convince you of this, but if you're also not a Marvel fan and you just want to try something that is different, I think that could be appealing, unless you're a horrible xenophobic racist, you can really enjoy this. Oh, and also misogynist. So, yeah. Uh, there's so many ways you could choose to hate, and you don't have to. You can enjoy this for what it is. It stars Iman Vellani as Kamala, and her best friend is Bruno, played by Matt Lintz. That name seems very familiar to me. I don't know why I know that name, but from what I understand, Iman is very much a big Marvel nerd, and she is thrilled to death to actually be a part of this universe as Kamala. It's kind of a big deal to her. Not just like I'm an actor and I like this role. It's she absolutely loves being in this. I'm hoping that's not BS. If it is, she's a better actor than I give her credit for. So yeah, and she's great. She's natural. She's fun, and she's a girl who's struggling with just being accepted at school, knowing she's different from a lot of the other kids, and reminded of that fact very often by her own parents. Well, mainly her mother, who is very strict. Her dad gives her a little bit more leeway, but he's also he's dad. So and she's their little girl. So I don't think what we see in this is her parents being unnecessarily cruel or anything. They love her obviously. They are setting boundaries for her in order to hopefully make her a better person, to guide her, to not have her lost in trivial, frivolous things such as fantasizing or almost worshiping the Avengers. She and Bruno have this plan to go to Avenger Con, and through any means necessary, and Mom is not having it. And that's pretty much the core of the first episode. That's her struggle, and you get to see some of the extended cast as well. But the main core of this is understanding who she is as a person, what she wants, and she wants to go to Avenger Con, and she wants to wear her Captain Marvel cosplay. And Mom's not having it. So what happens? Well, I'm not going to tell you, but that conflict comes to a head in interesting ways. Of course, you can't mention Avenger Con without showing Avenger Con, and so basically there's a convention that takes place. I have to admit, after going to many conventions over the years, they tend to not take place at night. They take place during the day, and it's not just people running around cheering and eating popcorn and posing with cardboard cutouts. It just, I don't know. I mean, there's lots of cosplay in this. There is a cosplay contest for each type of character, apparently. Like, there's a Captain Marvel cosplay thing in this, which, of course, she's wants to join. She's a big fan. Interestingly enough, one of the little things that most people will not recognize, and one of the cosplay judges is actually a very famous cosplayer that I recognize, and I've taken her picture tons of times over the years. Her name's she goes by the name Riddle, and there's just a half-second shot of her, but I saw her. There's probably some other cosplayers in the judging table, whatever, but Ricky, aka Riddle, is actually in this, and she's one of my favorite cosplayers because she's so good and she's cute, so that doesn't hurt either. She's a grown woman. She can still be cute. She's really small. Anyway, this is that's some little weird divergent trivia that nobody will know or care about but me, but except maybe Riddle, and she's not watching this. So anyway, this is, and it's like, okay, you've told us all this. You spent almost 10 minutes telling all this stuff, but did not mention the fact that, okay, this is a superhero. This is a new superhero in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And she becomes a superhero in the process of this first episode. Well, not necessarily a superhero. She gets powers. How does she get powers? Well, let's just say there seems to be a lot of eccentric jewelry being passed around in the MCU right now in the wake of the Infinity War. I mean, between Shang-Chi's 10 rings, and of course, the Doctor Strange, they have their sling rings, and What else do we have? We had recently. Oh, well, Moon Knight's got his share of stuff. I don't know. Anyway, um, yeah, but in this, she gets a bracelet delivered from her nani. I think that's grandma in Pakistan, and apparently, that is some pretty powerful jewelry. And when she puts it on, things get out of hand. And I'm not spoiling anything because you kind of see it in the trailers and stuff. But this is a very different origin than what we get in the comics. In the comics, she's an Inhuman, where suddenly, at some point, the Terrigen mists, which transform these beings. We've seen the Inhumans, by the way, also on Disney Plus, the not so popular series that appeared on ABC for barely a season, a very short season. uh, in the comics, there's a mist that they have to breathe in and bathe in, whatever, and they are transformed into whatever they can transform into physically in some ways, and sometimes they just manifest powers. Like maybe you have super strong prehensile hair, or you have the ability to destroy mountains with your voice. Those kind of things. That's where you get your powers, but you never know what kind of power you're going to get. In Kamala's case, that mist got out from the Inhumans' base or home, which happened to be parked right off the edge of Manhattan at the time, and Jersey City. And she got bathed in this, and then suddenly she became she had these powers, kind of like Mr. Fantastic, where she would flex and grow and embiggen and things like that, and she'd that's would be her power. Her powers are very different in this. Well, not very, but enough that it's not exactly the same, because we're going to get a Mr. Fantastic in the coming years, because Mr. Fantastic Four movie is coming. Another one is coming. So yeah, it would feel redundant. Now her powers they're very different, but there's still some similarities. You know what? There's some people who complain about that, but seriously, just get over it. It's a different thing. It's a different universe. It's a different reason. It's not the comics. It's okay, and you can still enjoy it. I mean, the character itself is the great joy of this series, not necessarily how her powers manifest. So, and I think pardon the term, but I think it allows a little bit more flexibility in what she can do. So, yeah, she can create stepping discs in a sense, where she can step and get to higher places, kind of like Invisible Girl or Invisible Woman, sorry, or Magic has done that, but that's an X-Men thing. So yeah, it's there's all sorts of different things that can be done. It's all right, but I think they're leading to something with all this powerful jewelry. It's not a coincidence, I don't think. We're gonna see. I know I missed some other examples that I in that list I made, because Shang-Chi and her. There's going to be more. Okay, it's just if there isn't already, I just can't remember what all they are. You might be able to tell me. You can in the comments, but it's late, and I have to still watch Kenobi yet, episode 4, and compile this video. So yeah, I highly recommend it. It's again, for me, dipping into the Marvel universe in any situation with any character. I've read her comics since it was released in 2013, so I've been with her from the start, and this is very much in the spirit of that original comic. So she's awkward, she's silly, she's not as confident as she could be. But she has the makings of a hero. She is, in a sense, some people have made this comparison, she is like another Peter Parker, but with a very different origin, and not one so tragic. But hopefully it doesn't turn as tragic as Peter's. But it's the background is very different, and that's a good thing. I think we'll see a lot of people rooting for her. There'll be still, yes, there's going to be plenty of awful people out there who are going to just they make it their mission to crap on people who are not like them, and I really hope this girl does not receive any of that crap, because she doesn't deserve it. Some people have to get hits that way. as you can see from mine, I don't. So, all right, Ms. Marvel, one episode, 5 more to go, and that's what we're doing. I'm not going to come back and do it each week, but Ms. Marvel, seriously, check it out. Let's pick tomorrow's episode.
477.
477. I have to let it talk. If it's 477. Oh my gosh. 477. We're in the thes in the list. It's alphabetical. And I've been dying to watch this for a long time. I watched this as a kid and I loved it. I had the action figures and everything else because I loved everything sci-fi in the 70s and 80s. Don't do the math. I loved everything sci-fi because I love Star Wars. But this is not Star Wars. This is definitely not Star Wars, but it's got robots in it. And I don't know if this is going to... My big fear is this is not going to age well. So, but I'm still looking forward to finally watching it for the first time in, honestly, decades. Decades. I don't think I'd probably watched this since the 80s. We're watching The Black Hole. Yeah. If you have no idea what the black hole is, well, depending on who you are, we're in for a treat. Yeah. So, The Black Hole is up next on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that.